And to some of you, he may still be a mystery man, so we're going to meet him right now and talk about some things so you know where he is. First of all, Dr. Paul, good morning. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning. Nice to be with you.
For folks who don't follow it closely, I want to go through just a few things with you so people are aware of where you are. I think people know that you think that Iraq was a big mistake. We don't belong there. If you become president, what would your first act regarding Iraq be?
Well, I would announce what the policy would be, that it's time to come home. The people of Iraq need to get together and have self-determination and decide what they want for themselves. That outsiders are the wrong people to decide what they should do with their country. And I think the announcement would go a long way. I would announce that we're not planning on bombing Iran. We're not planning on interfering in the picking or the choosing or the changing of their regime, that that's their business. I would also say that the CIA should not be involved in picking and choosing the next dictator of Pakistan. We should start coming home from there, bringing our troops home. Within months, we ought to come out of the region and let the people there take care of their own business. I think this would send a strong message, and it would help our dollar. It would also help the oil price because there would be less turmoil over there. It would be very productive to announce to the world that we want to talk and be friends, and we want to be diplomats, that we don't want to run the world, and we don't want to tell everybody what to do. And we won't be threatening anybody else by bombing them, nor will we promise them largesse. We believe that we do not need to continue to subsidize all these foreign nations. Just for instance, we're sending $20 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia, and it happens to be that 15 of the hijackers came from Saudi Arabia, so some of that just doesn't make any sense. $10 billion to Musharraf, that doesn't make any sense that we have done. So a non-intervention is the policy that I'm talking about. A president can do a lot to move that policy in that direction.
You know, during one of the last debates, you basically got John McCain to admit that he would stay in Iraq for 100 years if he thought it was necessary. And the war is so unpopular. Why do you think McCain is still fairly popular?
You know, it's amazing that people don't, you know, that we did some checking in New Hampshire. A lot of people that voted for John McCain thought he was against the war in Iraq. You know, sometimes, you know, getting this information out is not all that easy, and of course that's our job in the campaign. But it also reflects that they get all their information from the media and they don't look into it. Yeah. But it is true that people don't realize that he has made that statement. And he says if it's necessary, we'll stay there for 100 years.
I thought you would jump out of your skin when he said that.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is just unbelievable. Where is he going to get the money and how long is this? I mean, but his excuse was, well, we've been 60 years in Korea. Well, I'm making this point. 60 years in Korea is way too long.
Do you think
when we don't have the money? So why don't we come home?
Is Iraq killing our economy here? All the money we're spending there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just to think about it, if you just moved the troops back into this country and built the bases here rather than overseas, and all the military personnel spent their money here, this would be a boost to our economy. But instead, we're spending about $1 trillion a year to maintain our empire. We're in 130 countries. We have 700 bases. So we have to change. Let's change before we have an economic crisis, which is brewing right now. And this is what my plan would be, is to change foreign policy.
Congressman, the comment in that one debate where he talked about 9/11, and your position on 9/11 is you've got to look at it in a broader way, and where our policy may be somewhat implicit in what happened in 9/11. Can you clarify that for folks who are watching?
Yeah, sometimes they want to misconstrue what I say and say, well, I'm blaming America. I don't blame any American for hoodlums and thugs coming over and murderers coming over and killing us. But you also have to understand motives behind those who commit murder and commit these crimes. And they have an argument that says that they are aggravated and incensed because we had military bases in Iraq. And even Paul Wolfowitz, you know, admitted that. So unless we realize that, I mean, we can't solve our problems. They don't come here because we're free and prosperous. They come here because we're always telling them what to do. Congressman,
I think it's necessary to say, your schedule has you leaving us now because you're doing a lot of satellite hits around the nation. We would have loved to talk longer, so I'd like the Ron Paul revolutionary people to know we're not cutting you off. You're the one who's going, because there are a lot more questions we could ask you.
That is right, and I appreciate the time you've given us.
All right, Dr. Ron Paul, thank you very much, Congressman.
I'm telling you, he makes sense there.
You're afraid that Ron Paul people are going to chase you like they chase Sean Hannity?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Happened?
Well, they chased, he was eating dinner, and they chased him and yelled at him and cursed him and whatever else. The interesting part of Ron Paul, without losing most of the audience here, he is what you'd call a moderate libertarian. And he believes that less government, stay out of people's lives. It creates interesting positions where you can't really say, oh, he's just this or he's just that.
Yeah. I saw him on Bill Maher. I see a lot of the politicians on Bill Maher. And that's my first introduction to him. And I thought, gosh, he is more libertarian than just Republican. And that's why we need to be educated on who we're voting for. Because like you said, McCain, people vote and they're, oh, I thought McCain wanted troops out of Iraq. I didn't realize that.
McCain represents keeping troops in Iraq.
I've always wondered how people who love Obama will sometimes vote for McCain because their positions on the war could not be more different.
Because people vote for people often and not their issues. You know, McCain, because of his history, has earned the right to take a position that other people maybe haven't. How's that? No. We would have gone along with Ron Paul because I'd love for you to hear more of his stuff so you know about it.